Right, today we have the third set of our Abomasnow creature feature. This time we're bringing it out to play in the Open Ultra League. Having ran into a number of Charizards when playing in Ultra Premier, I thought, why not bring it into the league where Charizard isn't quite as common? So I've got a fairly standard team, which I'm sure you've seen many times and are probably thoroughly sick of, but it's Giratina and Registeel. And of course, Abomasnow. This time we put Abomasnow in the pack with an idea that we can perhaps do a bait swap if we've got an adverse lead. We can bring in Abomasnow, draw out any fire types or any fighting types and keep them away from the Registeel. That seemed like a good idea to me, so let's see how that plays out. I'm reminded why I hate Ultra League, the open one, because going up against big chunky tanks is a slow and tedious game. However, I've got the background music running, so hopefully you won't get too bored and fall asleep at the snooze fest. So our first lead is into a Machamp, that's great for Giratina, and we've got a Snorlax there. So we're going to bring the Registeel out. They're likely to be able to superpower us, but we can Focus Blast them in return. So that's okay. That's okay. We're just going to let the moves land, and because obviously they can't really afford to superpower too early, because if they do, they'll debuff themselves while switch locked. Whereas we don't have to worry about that, we can just throw the Focus Blast. There we go, Focus Blast going through, first shield gone. This does a huge amount of damage, and we're just going to guess that they might have had a superpower moment, but no, they get a shield off us. And now they're going to throw probably a superpower, just to prove me wrong. There we go. They do have a superpower ready, so okay. Superpower lands, they go to the Machamp, we throw off Flash Cannon, and we're going to switch straight back to our Giratina, because it's got a nice good matchup with the Machamp. There we go, pun for you. We're just going to let this through, because it's probably going to be a Rock Slide. It does hurt for neutral, but Giratina is a chunky monkey. And we have a Abomasnow in the back and we want to keep our shields. This time we don't actually throw the energy, because we want to do that, and we want to be able to farm a little bit and get a bit more energy. There we go. In comes the Snorlax again, and so we're left with Dragon Clawing it. Shadow Claw is a great move generally, but it doesn't work very well against normal types, as I'm sure you know. So we're left with just throwing the Dragon Claws. And another Dragon Claw comes through. And another Dragon Claw comes through. This guy's probably off to the forums now to complain about me running back-to-back Dragon Claws, but I did farm up a lot of energy first, so it's one of the good things about this is you can actually hold almost 3 Dragon Claws worth in your energy reservoir. And another Dragon Claw, there we go. Oh, we get the shield that time, that's great. So they're probably going to finish this off with Lick. Yes, we almost got to Dragon Claw, but not quite. So now we're going to bring out the Registeel, because that'll encourage them to throw their energy at us, and probably take us out. There we go. Body Slam. But Body Slam's gone. Now, Abomasnow comes out. This is almost certainly going to be a superpower. They've shown us they've got it, and sure enough, there it is. They switch immediately to a Charizard. We came here to get away from those. Anyway, we're going to go straight into the Weather Balls. They do hit the neutral, so it's a decent chunk off the Charizard, but that fire damage really does a lot to us, so it's going to hurt. There we go. Throw another Weather Ball, and so close, but not quite. They're going to take us out now. However, I'm actually quite impressed. We did almost entirely take out a Charizard there. Ah, there's why. It was building up to an Overheat, which is slightly more expensive than Blast Burn. So it does mean it's a powerful move, and it does a lot of damage, but it does take a little bit longer to charge. And it debuffs you. Melmetal lead. I hate Melmetals. They switch to Muck, so we switch out immediately. We go bring out the Abomasnow this time. Perhaps a bit of a gamble here, in that Sludge Wave is going to hurt, and they throw a Dark Pulse, which is good. We can cope with that, and we're just going to go straight Weather Balls and just try and take them down with Weather Balls. This should be a fairly even matchup, with Abomasnow spamming its charge moves and maybe getting some shields off them, and hopefully getting us in a good position for when that Melmetal comes back. Part of the reason we brought the Abomasnow in now was to keep it away from the Melmetal, because at least Registeel can Focus Blast it. However, there we go. Gets that Weather Ball again. That move is so spammy. I mean, you're not hitting very hard against things, but you're hitting an awful lot, and there goes that last shield. So, there comes the Melmetal. We're going to Weather Ball it as well, just because we might as well, and in doing so we don't give up the switch lock. And then we switch out and catch their move. Hopefully this is a superpower, which is going to debuff them. Okay, Rock Slide. Rock Slide would have hit quite super effective against Abomasnow anyway, so we're just going to Shadow Sneak this Melmetal. Shadow Sneak is a dreadful move, and you should never use it, apart from the fact that it hits neutral to steals. And actually to Psychics, it's quite good against Cresselia. but otherwise its power for its energy is just pretty bad. So we're going to another Shadow Sneak, again overcharging because we've got the Shadow Claw. While Shadow Claw, it doesn't hit as hard as Dragon Breath, it does do quite well in a neutral context, like against a steel. So there we go. And the Rock Slide comes through, doesn't quite finish us, and we nibble away. And there comes the Muck. We're going to let ourselves go down now. Perhaps this is an error, but we're low health anyway, and a Snarl will probably finish the job. So we bring the Abomasnow back out again and charge for a Weather Ball. We get to the Weather Ball before they get to their to their Dark Pulse, so off we go. And that's that gone, and we're pretty much left having to switch immediately. A Toga Kiss in the back. So Registeel comes out, and my opponent concedes, because at this point the only thing you've got full health left is resisted by the great big Trash Can of Doom. So next up we have Rocket Agent Joe. We're leading Giratina into a Swampert, so it's a decent matchup. Oh, it's a Shadow as well, so it's going to be hitting us extra hard. They need to land the Earthquakes in order to do us neutral damage. Hydro Cannons are decent as bait, but they are resisted by the Dragon type. So we're just going to guess they've gone for Hydro Cannon, and they're not, so the Earthquake lands, and look at that, it's taking a big chunk off. The next one coming through, we're perhaps going to have to shield because our health is now low enough that it would take us out no matter what it is. So we'll pop the shield up, and it's a Hydro Cannon. Of course it was. Hydro Cannon will probably finish us off at this range with a Shadow bonus, but that's okay, we can still carry on with the Dragon Claws. We've gone down a shield, but hopefully, there we go, take out the Swampert. So equal shields, lead 1, that's good. Gyarados comes out, we'll just go straight into Dragon Claws here, and we'll probably try and align that with our Abomasnow. There we go, a little bit of chip damage there, and yes, there we go, Abomasnow comes out. They're hopefully just going to throw Aqua Tail, but this is likely a Crunch given the time. Yeah, incoming Crunch. Again, does us some damage, not a disastrous amount, and a Cresselia comes out. So we're building up some energy here, we're just going to Weather Ball it. This doesn't win the straight matchup with Cresselia, but it's close. It does quite a lot of damage to something that's big and bulky, and the big and bulky thing doesn't do much damage in return. So we're left nibbling away at each other. Unfortunately, because we've only got one shield, the Moon Blast that's going to land on us is almost going to finish us off. So it's inconvenient. I get a bit of energy farming off us, that's unfortunate. However, Registeel has some good play against both the remaining back lines, so it's not over yet. We're going to let whatever coming through to land. It's a Future Sight, as you can see, it doesn't do a great deal. And straight into the Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon goes back onto the Cresselia, and if it lands, it'll take off a decent chunk of their health. There we go. But as you can see, still doesn't take a great deal. This is why I hate Ultra League. It's because these matchups are just long and tedious. I came close to timing out in a number of these today, and I think the only reason I didn't was because Abomasnow was squishy enough to avoid that. So there we go, Flash Cannon. Gyarados resists it. In fact, it resists both our moves, so actually it's quite a good counter to Registeel. But the Dragon Breath it's using, we resist, so it's a bit more even. Incoming Aqua Tail hits us for neutral. They're pecking away at us, and we're going to Flash Cannon them down now, and I think this will be enough to finish them off. And there we go. Not quite. So we're going to go for the farm down, and we're going to have to shield here. We're going to farm down on the Gyarados, and hopefully we'll have enough energy lead to be able to zap the Cresselia when it comes in. There we go. And we're going to get Flash Cannon. Just about. There we go. Incoming Flash Cannon. Hopefully this will take it out. I'm always a bit suspicious. There we go. Close, and there you can see the clocks come up as well for the timeout. Thank you to my opponent. Still not sure Abomasnow did that as much as Registeel, but so it goes. So, Shadow Machamp lead. This is a problem for Abomasnow, but it's great for Giratina, so the Registeel comes out. We go into Shadow Sneak, and again, Shadow Sneak will let us nibble away at the Registeel. We're trying to keep that away from our Abomasnow, because it's pretty much helpless against it. We have seen fewer fire types, but we have seen more steel types, so it's not a particularly good trade for the Abominable Snowman. We bring out our own Registeel because we've lowered their health a little bit, and that means they're in a position where they can't afford to soak a Focus Blast where we can. So we can afford to not shield here, because even if they Focus Blast us, there we go, we're still going. Whereas if we return fire with a Flash Cannon, we save a tiny smidgen of energy, but that might well make the difference here, because obviously we're playing a game of energy races, and if I get the Focus Blast first, like that, then they're faced with another shield or going down themselves. And we get the other shield, so 2 shields to 0, so that's pretty good. We're going to try and go for it for the Machamp. We don't quite, so that's unfortunate, but out comes the Machamp resisting Giratina. They're probably going to rock slide us, and there we go. Again, rock slide doesn't do a huge amount of damage here, but does enough so it's worth the shield. And we throw a Dragon Claw, and they've got no shield left, so we can get to the next Dragon Claw. And there we go. We do want to keep this away from our back row Abomasnow. So out comes Melmetal again, and this is where we're left in. Sorry, the Registeel again, and this is where we're left in the awkward position of trying to take this out with the Giratina because we can't afford to let the Abomasnow go head to head with it. So we're just going to stay in and throw Shadow Sneak, which still offends me. Its existence and move because it's so bad. It's just the only option for this particular matchup. Ah well, the burdens we bear, eh? So we're going to maybe get to another one. Not quite. Yes, we do just about make the last Shadow Sneak. So this will take out Registeel, and we're left with a dice roll of what do they have in the back, and can we take it out with an Abomasnow? Because we've got no health left, and so Cresselia versus Abomasnow. This is not a crazy bad matchup, but they do hit us quite hard. With shields in play, with equal shields, we do a lot better basically because we get to the charge moves faster. However, now they're going to land a Moonblast on us, and if we're lucky it's not going to debuff us, but I don't think it will matter. I think, there we go. So if they get to another one, that's going to take us out probably at this range. So we're just going to go to a double weather ball almost, and see if we can't get the back-to-backs to land. It does a decent amount of damage, it's 60 or so damage, but it's still just pecking away at this Cresselia. The beast of the Ultra League has done its work again, so we might get to another one, just about. We might as well throw it at them. Just make them suffer a bit for this slow, tedious matchup. And there we go, out comes the timer again, almost at a timeout. But it's not going to help, there we go. Clutch Dragon Claw, I don't think it's going to do enough. No, there we go. And they're going to finish the job with, well, whatever they've got. I could sneeze at this point. It's a Grass Knot. Still, time's up, goodbye. And then we have, what do we have? Leading into Giratina versus Giratina. Bit of lag there, which means they get a bit of an energy lead on us, but they're Dragon Breath versus our Shadow Claw. They're two great moves. Dragon Breath favours the damage up front, whereas the Shadow Claw gives you the energy. So we're switching to the Abomasnow, because Ice is super effective against Giratina, and Escavalier comes out. Now, Weather Ball does decently against this, because it's quite squishy, but obviously it does have that steel in there, so it does mean you end up not very effective. And we're going again. They're probably going to be throwing a drill run at this point, I'd have thought, and so I put the shield up. But it's an acid spray. Great shield bait on their parts because it's debuffed us and got a shield and wouldn't have done us enough damage really. But it is super effective against us, so it might have finished the job. And we're just going to move straight into the Weather Ball again. They're farming us down with counter here, so they're building up another drill run. I don't know if they're quite there yet, but they're getting there quite quickly. So yeah, there we go. So health's gone down a fair bit, but they're still almost ready for a drill run. So we're just going to jump straight back in and throw the Dragon Claw immediately. It's not going to finish them, so we're going to do the same again. Now we're expecting this to be a drill run, and that will hurt, but not too much, because again, there we go. So we've taken them out, and their Giratina comes in, and we've got our own Dragon Claws to throw. So there comes a Dragon Claw again, another spammy move, and we switch to the Registeel immediately, because obviously we resist the Dragon Breath here, so this matchup is actually better for us, because Shadow Claw is neutral to steel, whereas Dragon Breath is resisted. And they get the Shadow Sneak slower, because of the slightly lower energy gain. So we're just going to build up a little bit of extra energy, then throw a Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is the neutral pick here, because obviously Fighting type is resisted, and take out Giratina. So our energy lead might prove decisive here, because the Melmetal's coming in, but I don't actually think it's going to help, because this Melmetal is going to... There we go. So Focus Blast doesn't quite take it out, and maybe that's the result of the nerf to Focus Blast, but now there's probably going to be a superpower. It's a Rock Slide. Okay. A superpower would have been a problem, so we had to shield it, but they're going to get to another one before us, I think, and I don't think this Flash Cannon is going to take them out, because they still have that shield left. And there we go. So we're going to quickly switch and try and catch the superpower. I think a really great play in that part, but I'm not sure it will help, because that energy gain on that Melmetal is just so fast. We're not going to get... There we go. We're not going to get to our move in time. So at this point, their superpower is going to come in and not quite finish us. So we're in with a chance. Can we get to that Flash Cannon? No. We can't. Good game. I think that was pretty close, but still, well played my opponent. I really hate Melmetal. Anyway, so there you go. Do we have another one? No, that's a lot. Ultra League, slower, more boring matches, You don't see the fire types as much, which make Abomasnow cry, but you do run into steel types way more, which is almost as much of a problem. I'm not so sure what I think of this. I mean, I think if you look at the matches, I've been fairly even in the outcomes. I've won a couple, I've lost a couple. I'm not overly convinced by Abomasnow. It's very expensive for what it does, and I'm not really sure it's got much play anywhere in the Ultra League. But let me know if you're finding otherwise. I'd be quite interested in your experiences. I know a few people have made a good thing of it, so yeah. Drop me a comment, let me know. Thank you, have a good day.